Well, good morning and welcome back to the ongoing existential crisis that is my YouTube channel, Gribley's Folly. I'm coming at you from the Gribley's Folly Community Garden and Massage Parlor, and it is a very, very special Sunday antisocial hour this morning. Normally the Sunday antisocial hour is when I answer humanity's questions by complaining about humanity, mixed in with judicious use of the pause button. But today is our first, maybe last installment. This might be a once-in-a-lifetime video you're watching right here. I am going to be, now there's only one mayor of the YTPC. You guys know that. And the mayor is on record saying that there are no other officers. There's no dog catcher, there's no sheriff, there's no vice mayor. But for one day only, I am going to appoint myself to be the vice admiral to the deputy chief of liaison with the press for the mayor, Derek Tant. Currently smoking my pot-shaped Stanwell, which is one of my most prized and under-smoked pipes. And let's get right to your questions, shall we? Pete Piper, hashtag AskGribs, how much is an hour massage in your massage parlor? Well, Pete, I, of course, am a level 50 shaman, which makes me, by default, a licensed massage therapist in the state of North Carolina. So, if you can ever find the Gribley's Folly Community Garden and Massage Parlor, in whose Trump Tower-like edifices I currently reside, and you kind of have to, it's like talking to the guru, you know, you got to climb the mountain and all the snow and the llamas and stuff. Anyway, when you get here, I will give you a rub down for 110 of Fusilier's Ration. I don't know if this is for sure. This tobacco is freaking phenomenal. It might be in my top 5 for 2018 by the time we get to the end of this year. I don't know for sure. And I already looked at Briar Report. You know, it's really funny that Briar Report looks just like Drudge Report because I get up every morning, I check the Drudge Report like every other American. And then sometimes I leave Briar Report open and I forget which tab, you know, and so, like, I thought I was looking at the Drudge Report, and I looked at Briar Report, and so I'm thinking, like, damn, Old Berg made the Drudge, like, the headline is, Old Berg brings you deep into the heart of the Chicago pipe show, and I'm like, Old Berg's on the Drudge Report! The point that I'm trying to make is, I will go ahead and start this rumor. I bet this stuff is never going to be seen again. I bet this is discontinued. If that's not already a rumor out there, we can say it started here, because I have a bad feeling that Fusilier's Ration being back-ordered, probably going to be a permanent situation. I know when I bought my stock of it, I bought several untasted. I bought several tins, and at that point, I was sort of in panic buying mode from the FDA regs, and it was one of the very, very highly rated blends that were on the chopping block. So yeah, I bet we've probably seen the last of the production of this stuff. So anyway, I will definitely give you a massage for some Fusilier's Ration. I guess that's legal. Before we get to the main attraction, I'm gonna tease this out just a touch. I do have a bone to pick with Mayor Tant. There was a little bit of he did some promotion. He did some promotion for this little collab project we got going on together, where you can hashtag Ask Gribs to Ask Derek Tant. By the way, the hashtag is closed. I don't know if Derek wants to continue doing this. Derek, what do you say? I mean, we'll see. We'll see how this episode works out. We'll see if both of our channels are skyrocketed into PewDiePie levels of YouTube monetization, and then scandal, and then demonetization. Anyway, Derek was promoting this idea, and I really appreciate. You know, his heart's in the right place. But guys, as much as we all love Derek, he eats toaster strudels. And we all know that toaster strudels are far inferior to brown sugar Pop-Tarts. And so I know that this might start a little bit of a schism between my fans and Derek's fans. I mean, they were always, you know, we were kind of, never really saw eye to eye on everything since that whole video I did calling him out on that really good idea he had that one time. And so, anyway, let's just go ahead and put this to bed, right? This is not, I'm not arguing here because the facts are clear. Let's just look at history to determine which is the superior pastry, You ready for this, Derek? You ready? I'm just going to go ahead and shut you down. You know who likes strudel? Hitler. You know who liked tarts? JFK. Just being patriotic, man. All right. David, 35-445, asked Grips to ask Derek Tant, when in North Carolina do you go for the Eastern North Carolina barbecue or the Western North Carolina barbecue? I don't know if this is left or right on your screen, but that way is East and this way is West. And any self-respecting North Carolinian is going to go East for their barbecue. I like what is called Western style barbecue, but it is not North Carolina barbecue. It's just barbecue. Eastern North Carolina barbecue is the only North Carolina barbecue. But alas, Derek Tant answers, I've only been to North Carolina once in my whole life, and I didn't eat barbecue. I met Gribbs. And if I had only known this sad fact about Derek Tant, I would have brought him some Eastern North Carolina barbecue. How could you, Derek, it's okay to reach out for help. Jody Kalal asked Gribbs to ask Derek Tant, when is the YTPC going to do a gathering? Derek says many members of the YTPC are currently in Chicago for the Chicago Pipe Show, which is happening right this very moment, I think. I don't know, it was on the prior report. But it will be in Nashville. I will be, meaning Derek, will be in Nashville toward the end of September for a meetup. Details soon. Watch Derek's channel. If you don't know, his channel is called Derek Tant. Francis Barnett asked both Derek and I the same question, pilfered from Richard Herring's Leicester Square Theater podcast. If you had to choose one, which of these would you prefer to have? A hand made from ham or an armpit that dispenses sun cream? Derek's answer, my freaking goodness. I should really get, okay, all right. Hey. Derek Tant here. My freaking goodness. I don't know if does that, it's not even, I need some shades and like an Instagram filtered face and my freaking good, Derek Tant, whatever. All right. I don't even know what sun cream is, which is it's about consistent with my view of Derek Tant's worldliness. Give me a hand made of ham. I am going to disagree, Francis. My answer to this question would be that a hand made of ham would not be very useful because you would just eat it. And then you wouldn't have a hand, or if you chose not to eat it, you would just have a rotten piece of ham like hanging off your arm. I don't understand why that's even a question. It's a total no-brainer. I would take the armpit that dispenses sun cream because I know that sun cream means sunscreen, and I'm always forgetting my sunscreen and getting sunburn while I'm going fishing. Devil's advocate. I tried to do the wink there to show him I know I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but then I just had an eye twitch instead of devil's okay, so he asked Derek Tant 3 questions. 1, what are your thoughts on Bob Dylan launching his own brand of whiskey? Will you be reviewing it? 2, what is the funniest malapropism you've heard as you work in a hospital? I would think there are some rich pickings to be had. 3, what caused W.C. Fields' bathing suit to smoke as he swam to Catalina Island? All right, Derek answers. I have no opinion of Bob Dylan's whiskey, unless he is making it himself. If someone sends me a bottle, I will gladly review it. Very nice, Derek. That's how you get all. With a Bob Dylan-esque mumble. All right, well, that's good. I would. How much is this whiskey? Hang on. We're gonna pause this. So I went and looked up Heaven's Door, Bob Dylan's whiskey, and it looks like very tasty booze, but Tennessee bourbon. Bob, like, I know you're like basically a prophet and all, like you're, you know, the musical whatever of our times, but Tennessee bourbon is a contradiction in terms. Straight rye whiskey for $89 a bottle, double barrel whiskey for $59. I would go in on this if we wanted to send Derek a bottle. I'm not going to spend $90 to see what Derek thinks of a rye because I don't like rye. I don't really even drink anymore. What am I even talking about? Next up, the funniest malapropism. Derek says, after losing a big game, a coach was asked how he felt about his team's execution. He said he was in favor of it. And then he says, the next one is not a malapropism, but my favorite medical term is incompetent cervix. It's a thing. Derek, that may be a thing, but if I were you, I wouldn't call anyone that in mixed company. Finally, What caused W.C. Fields' bathing suit to smoke as he swam to Catalina Island? Dry ice. Last in the Derek Tant portion of the show today, we have 2 beard questions. DNGLOS, whatever. He asked Gribbs to ask Derek Tant, describe in 3 words what your beard smells like. Derek answers, dirt and lemongrass. And then Gamecock Piper asked Gribbs to ask Derek Tant, what are the most aromatically pleasing aspects of your facial hair? And on what scale does he rank his facial hair above others? This is a good question. Derek says, my beard occasionally retains pipe tobacco aroma, which is nice. As for scale, most people use Fahrenheit to rank their beards, but I use Celsius. Thank you so much, Derek, for playing along. You win the Best Beard on the Channel award, which is saying a lot. It's not really. I've never really paid that much attention to my beard. One time I did grow it really long, but it didn't look good. It did not have the Derek Tant upside down bicycle helmet look. Was that an insult? I didn't mean to insult your beard, but I mean, should I not have said, did you not know that your beard looks like an... Oh, I'm so sorry. I understand if you are all satisfied and you don't want to keep watching anymore, but there are still a few questions for me, Gribbs, just using the hashtag AskGribbs hashtag. And I will proceed to answer them now. If you're only here for the Tantisms, you can scamper along. Logan Brem asked Gribbs, I'm looking for a new aromatic. My favorite one so far is Lane 1Q. Any recommendations? Yes, Logan, my recommendation is that you broaden your horizons from Lane 1Q. I was never that impressed with it. Let me recommend some good aromatics. I'm going to have to think about this for a second. First, Frogmorton Cellar. Unfortunately, it's no longer in production, but Derek Tant is doing this whole project over at his channel called Derek Tant, where he's trying to find a replacement for Frogmorton Cellar, which was his favorite blend, and it was one of my favorites too. So he's recommending Cult Embassy currently, among others. I think Captain Black Royal is a very good, very cheap, over-the-counter drugstore codger aromatic. I like it. It tastes like what you want in an aromatic pipe tobacco. I'm not one for picking out the individual flavors in an aromatic because I kind of think that 90% of aromatics are all the same tobacco that they swept up off the floor, mixed with whatever flavoring they have in overstock at the vape warehouse that week. And that's not to... I know that sounds like I'm really trying to be down on aromatic tobaccos, but I'm not. I think that aromatics absolutely have their place. I smoke Captain Black Royal all the time, but I think that it behooves us to know that an aromatic is an aromatic is an aromatic. And so if you can find an aromatic that burns well, that the smoking mechanics are satisfying, you're not left with a pipe full of wet goo, then you just got to find the flavor. So for example, I would not recommend Sutliff aromatics because in my experience they always burn really wet. You've got soup at the end of the pipe, and so it doesn't matter what the flavor is to me. I don't want that, So anything that comes in a tin, find a flavor you like. You like chocolate? Go find 3 different tins of chocolate aromatic tobacco. That is usually going to be higher quality. As a general rule, I don't want to be elitist here. As a general rule, it's usually going to be higher quality than something like a bulk Sutliff tobacco that you would get from your local tobacconist, over-the-counter kind of stuff. Like I said, Captain Black. Actually, I would recommend Carter Hall. I think Carter Hall is a very subtle aromatic. Just avoid the goopers. Just avoid. If you get on tobacco reviews and you're looking at a blend and it's a gooper, stay away from that. Prior Report asks, it is my understanding that professional photographers like it when you ask them, did you get that shot? Especially at weddings. Is this true? I like to say to the photographer several dozen times throughout the day, knowing they appreciate it, just to do my part. Are there any other tips you can give us to assist the photographer? Well, Phil, yes, it's definitely true that we like to hear that. Also, if you could, like, while we're maybe talking to the bride or taking pictures of the bride, if you could find a flower in the parking lot that you think is really pretty and come in and tell us about it, we love that. We love it when you're like, oh, did you get the picture of the flower outside? It's like a dandelion. It's like, it's right by the curb under the handicap parking sign. If you could get a picture of that, that will really just sum up the fragile, delicate beauty of this entire wedding. Make sure you do that. Sorry, bride, I didn't mean to interrupt your wedding day. You're paying this guy hundreds of dollars an hour, but I just thought you might want a picture of the dandelion. But the best thing you can do, you know what photographers love to talk about when they're on the clock working for people that are standing right in front of them watching them? The best thing you can do is talk to them about camera gear and what kind of camera gear you have and the kind of camera gear you're going to buy. They really care about that. We really want to know what kind of gear you're using. Speaking of photography, Jody Kalal asks Gribbs, what is the picture on the wall over your right shoulder? And I will show you a picture of that picture right now. Just kidding. Here's the picture. This is a picture of a very dear friend of mine with whom I went to college, and we went through the art program together, and we were in all the photography classes together, and we had like literally all of our classes together, and we would go out on adventures and take pictures of things. And in this shot, she is looking into an abandoned building on a prison campus, and I'm pretty sure we shouldn't have been where we were. I shot this photo with a Voigtlander Perkeo, a Perkeo 2, I think. You should look it up. You should Google that, P-E-R-K-E-O, Voigtlander Perkeo. And I really, really like the photo. It hangs down here because it doesn't really fit in my living room very well. It doesn't, I mean, the living room has color and it's a black and white photo. I actually, it's one of my favorite photos that I've ever taken, but it's a little dark, you know? It's a little kind of, yeah, it just doesn't quite say what it would need to say to hang in my living room, or, I don't know, to sell in a gallery. I did have it. It hung in a few galleries before I finally hung it in here. WTF Serpico asks, in the vein of the sandwich, not a sandwich debate, is cold breakfast cereal soup? You know, Marcus Aurelius wrote, of each particular thing, ask what it is itself. What is its nature? I think the nature of soup is hot. Isn't it? Is there any other soup you're supposed to eat cold? On the other hand, it is soupy. Soupy would be an adjective you could use to describe a bowl of cereal. This is a tough one. I'm going to have to go with yes, it is soup. This is on the Keys, who politely told me in the last comment section that his name is not Kaizen the Keys. Kiz on the Keys. I would never purposefully mispronounce anyone's name, ever, ever, especially not if they named themselves after an egg-based alcohol. Anyway, Kiz on the Keys asks, are you interested in history? Yes. If so, have you ever listened to Dan Carlin's Hardcore History? No. I've heard about it. I don't have time to consume a lot of media. In fact, one of the things I miss most about pre-parent life is reading, is being able to like open a book and read it. I'm working on this book right now, and it's been months. It's been months, and I'm just, every night I read like a page and fall asleep, a page and fall asleep, and there's just no other time to read in my day. So podcasts and things to watch and listen to, they're a lot like that. Currently, I consume only media that can be watched in about 5-minute segments. So this was when I retire, I'll definitely be into this. Smock asks, what is the best pizza you've ever eaten? This is a great question because, again, what is the nature of pizza? I think that pizza must be simple. I definitely enjoy saying that, you know, there's a Cuban style pizza that I like at a local place here. It's got, you know, peppers and bananas and bacon, and it's different. It's different, you know, and I like that a lot. But I think when it comes to the best pizza, the most pizza I've ever eaten, it would be like Papa John's pizza. Because that's what I think of. When I want a pizza, I want something easy and fat and high carb and that I can eat an entire box of and feel a whole lot of shame about later. Devil's Advocate asks, I recently stumbled across the YouTube whispering community, and they get a massive amount of sub counts and stacks of views. What I thought was this: if you whispered whilst presenting one of your fly tying videos and posted it as an ASMR fly tying, you would be surprised at the response. Also, a rant about codger drivers delivered in a whisper would be something to behold. Hashtag AskGribs. What do you think, Sonny Jim? Give it a go. No, I don't think I'll do that. Rutabaga Duplex asks Gribbs, how did you quit cigs? I never started. I was never a cigarette smoker. I have smoked a few cigarettes in my time. I have probably smoked in my entire life less than 2 packs of cigarettes. I do not enjoy cigarettes. I know a little bit about smoking cessation because my father was a lifetime cigarette smoker, and it was part of what killed him. Which would explain why I'm not very into cigarettes. He smoked L&M cigarettes, and I have never smoked an L&M cigarette, but I do enjoy the aroma. The way he quit was by having like a quintuple bypass, and he was in the hospital for a month, and he was like, well, I guess I'm just not going to smoke again after this. And then he actually went on to go do smoking cessation class. Like he talked to smoking cessation classes about his experience in quitting. And, I don't know that he struggled with it. I don't know that he ever tried to quit before that. I mean, I'm sure he did, but he loved it. He, like the way that we smoke pipes, he smoked cigarettes. And, I don't think he wanted to quit. And, so it literally was just kind of the thing of, he was forced to quit while he had his surgery, and never smoked again. Never smoked again. And when he was in hospice, I offered to get him a pack of cigarettes because, like, why the hell not? And he was like, I don't think I want to do that. So I don't know, but breaking that kind of addiction to where when you're on your deathbed, you're like, no, I still don't want that. Thank you so much. That sounds like something I don't want to get involved in. Beard asks Gribbs, anchovies on pizza? Hell no. Hell no. What about you, Beard? What? I mean, are you one of those people? I can't do it. Do you think anyone has ever actually done something with further ado? Have you ever been to a government meeting? Etc. Oop, did I start talking too soon? Pipes, etc. Pipes, etc. Asks, seeing that you are a photographer, don't you want to use something more than just a smartphone for your videos? Maybe something with a remote control, and maybe a chroma key backdrop? No. And it's precisely because I am a photographer that I do not want to make my videos any more hi-fi than they already are. I spend so much time trying to make everything super, super high quality, awesome imagery. This is fun. This is supposed to be fun. And, so I get burned out on all the gear and all the, it's honestly, if I could upload stuff from my camera, I would think more about it, but it's the back end. It's the workflow in the back end, the downloading the files and the processing and all that stuff. And right now I can do everything on my phone, and I don't have to have any extra hard drives laying around. I don't save my videos. They're on YouTube. And if YouTube if we have an EMP strike and YouTube goes down, my videos are poof, they're gone. Whereas with my photos and my work, it's backed up in triplicate, and one of those is off site in case a meteor strikes my house or something like that. Like this is a whole different thing for me, and I definitely want to keep that separation there. Derek Tant asks Gribbs, I have never known rats to be kept in cages. There are some individuals who believe one's level of rage may influence this. What are your thoughts? Well, I have never personally known a rat that was kept in a cage. But I did once know a lady, a young lady, who had a pet rat that she had domesticated. I met her, I believe it was on my first day of my freshman year in college. And I was, you know, you're a freshman, you don't really know what the hell is going on your first day. And so I met this girl and she had a rat on her shoulder. And she was like, yeah, it's my rat. I was like, oh, did you get that was like a rescue from a lab or something? And she was like, no, I just found him in the street and, you know, trained him. Oh, okay. And I just, whatever. All right. Well, so that's my rat story. That's all I got, Derek. Kiz on the Keys asks, I notice my stained cobs smoke hotter than my unfinished ones. Not sure why that seems to be the case, at least in my experience. Well, I have never noticed this, but I don't smoke the naked cobs. I can't stand the feel of them. I don't know why it is, but I just end up picking at them the whole time I'm trying to smoke. So I don't have any firsthand experience. I know there are those that think that any sort of rustication on the body of a pipe is going to provide more surface area, and therefore it's going to radiate the heat more efficiently. And that, of course, would apply to an unfinished cob that's all rough. Yeah, that's all I got on that. He also asked, he or she, Kiz on the Keys asked, is there a huge difference between the Dagner and the Marcus? I don't know, I don't have a Marcus. I've always wanted one ever since I saw Padre Piper smoking one. Hang on, let me relight. Not gonna pause it. By the way, this lighter sucks, just a big click. I hate this thing. That's why I'm using it. I just keep hoping I'll lose it. But of course, the lighters you don't like, you never lose. I love my Dagner, but I had to add length to the stem. I had to get a longer stem for it. I should order a Marcus. I think that'll be on the next time I order some cobs, I'll get a Marcus. And then I could do a comparison video. Wouldn't that be nice? Kiz on the Keys asks, Gerber's straight blade or K-bar? Well, sir or madam. Pretty sure it's sir, but I can't remember right now, so I don't want to offend anyone. Gerbers are for babies. Biscuit asked, how does your fishing hobby stack up to your pipe hobby? I'm actually going to include part of this in my next random misadventure video, which should, God willing, be coming out this week. I've been working on it for a long time, but I've shot a lot of footage and I've been editing it, I've been compiling it, and fishing isn't a hobby. It's something more than that. So it's kind of apples to oranges. I can smoke while I fish. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like, and I've said this for a long time, like since the beginning of my channel, that pipe smoking is a practice more than a hobby for me. And I think that's because I really get into the tobaccos and the actual smoking as opposed to the collecting parts of it. Fishing, on the other hand, it borders on obsession. It doesn't even border. It's an obsession, and it's not really healthy. I guess pipes aren't really healthy either, so they're exactly the same. We will end today with a good breakdown analysis of one of my videos from Norbo. He said that a sort of a misfire in the video brought me into the realm of the bottom 95% of the YTPC. Norbo, it's all one. There is no top or bottom in the YTPC. We just all float around like amoebas. And let your beard grow 8 inches and spend more time relighting in silence, and you would make the bottom 90%. Add right-wing nut comments like "Make America Great Again," or use terms like "Ewans" or "all y'alls," and you would make the bottom 80%. Now, Norbo, we're gonna have to. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to agree with you on some points and disagree on others. I personally pride myself on not putting my audience through watching me tamp and relight. Because I think it's boring. But y'all is a perfectly apt phrase to describe a group of people. I wouldn't expect you to understand because after all, you are not Southern Bohemian. but we'll let that slide. Ewan's is of a particular dialect native to the Appalachians, and I think as such it should be, if not honored, at least respected as you know, a development in the English language that is it's particular. It's particular. When it comes to making America great again, you got me there. Okay, I think we covered all the bases. I made fun of Derek's beard. We talked about whiskey and tobacco. We didn't get into any big philosophical discussions this week. I'm amazed. But that's okay. That's okay. If you just can't hang with the level 50 shaman, that's fine. It's fine. No big deal. There will be plenty of time for that next week. And hopefully before I see you again in this context, I will see you in other contexts doing my adventure videos or rambling or something like that. I hope you have a great week. Thank you for watching. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.